Let me just put here where I'm more comfortable. Okay. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Maria Inês Pinho, and so as I was explaining, we are the Erasmus Plus project for education for technological literacy and inclusion. And the topic that we will have this week, so between the 4th of March and the 8th of March inclusively, it's about augmented reality. And we decided, the Portuguese team with the representatives by the Polytechnic of Porto for the topic of augmented reality, we decided to do that presentation between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. I'm speaking about Central Europe time, between Monday and Friday. And for the course for teachers will be on the same days, but between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. Today I will have the pleasure to share this presentation with Jerónimo Paiva. Jerónimo, thank you very much for joining us. So I think it will be really, again, Porto giving here an approval, not only for a very important topic in education for technology literacy, which is augmented reality, but also the topic of inclusion. And inclusion not only by the different gender system that we are respecting in the project, but also because I will have the opportunity to have in my presentations, and today will be the first one, master students who have been implementing several topics connected with augmented reality. So I think this will be very nice because it will be students teaching other students, but also teachers. So I hope you enjoy it. Then what I have here in mind, let me just manage here the scheme. So these projects, as I was explaining, in technological literacy and inclusion, has been developing different topics on this technological level. I'm speaking about data science, and data science is for the responsibility of the leader of this project, which is Bilbao Public University. We, Polytechnic of Porto, are the responsible for augmented reality, Pamplona for virtual reality, EMTA in Tallinn for streaming, Tajik for blockchain, and then coding cybersecurity will be in Goa in India. So far, just very fast, data science has already presented their course both for students and teachers. So you can see records on the website of our project website. Sorry. We are this week developing for both publics for augmented reality, as I explained previously. Virtual reality was already done between December and January. Streaming just finished last week the presentation for students, so for teachers, so they become students in April, and then blockchain will be in October, and in May will be coding cybersecurity. So pay attention to it in case you are interested on these topics. I also would like to recommend you our website, which is on this link. Yeah. Okay, so you have different information about what we are doing, considering, sorry. Oh God. Considering the project. Also, we have here this link that you can see here is the link for fulfilling a questionnaire that we are developing in order we can improve several things and make the state of art of the knowledge that everybody has in this technological literacy. And finally, I would like to present you my team who will be this week with me presenting the different topics in the 5 days. So I will be today with the help of Geronimo, and on Thursday together with Paulo Meireles. And we've been, the three of us, so me, Antonio Abreu, and João Vidal, worked on the presentations of today and Thursday. Then tomorrow will be Ricardo, and then will be João Prudente. Sorry, here. So the topics mainly are summarized on the schedule. This is the schedule for students. So I remember you between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. And we are very well distributed here, sharing different topics. I will be more for the concepts, and me and Geron will be more for the concepts, but then we will have time for the applications, for the case studies, and so on. So this first session, I will be defining what is augmented reality, and Geronimo will be distinguishing it from virtual reality and immersive realities. This was already done by my previous session on virtual reality, as you probably understand, or I hope after this session of today, it will finally be understood that these are different things and that you can distinguish what is virtual reality, what are immersive realities, and what is augmented reality. Then I'll be speaking about the history of augmented reality and its evolution and its milestones. I will be introducing you to the fields of where augmented reality can be implemented. And I'll be speaking a little bit, breaking the ice about the challenge and future trends that we have here in the near future. For the next sessions, for the other teammates that I've just introduced to you, we'll be speaking about key developments on augmented reality. We'll be speaking about devices, applications, case studies, augmented reality, and technologies and platforms. So what is the concept of augmented reality? To write this concept that you can see here on the screen, I focus myself into references, so from Arena and all, which give us an overview about this concept of augmented reality, and about Cerqueira and all, that is quite recent, this publication, where they speak about how to potentialize this augmented reality in serious games. So in summary, what they mention is that augmented reality is a technology that overlays digital information such as image, videos, or 3D models onto the real-world environment in real time. So it's different from virtual reality. So unlike it, which creates a completely immersive digital environment, augmented reality is more concerned with enhancing the real world with additional digital content. So if you understand the idea that I'm focusing here, you also understand that the concept of augmented reality involves the integration of digital information with the user's environment in such a way that the digital information appears to be part of the physical world. This is typically achieved through the use of devices such as smartphones, tablets, smart glasses, or specialized augmented reality headsets. These devices use cameras, sensors, and other technologies to detect the user's surroundings and overlay digital content accordingly. Okay. So without wanting to borrow you or to upset you, but I think it's nice to have a simple idea how when this appeared, this topic of augmented reality, and what are the milestones evolution that it has passed. So I believe we can say that the early conceptualization of this concept of augmented reality, before being called like that, can be identified in the period between 1968 and 1990. And on this time, the concept of augmented reality can be traced back to the 60s and the 70s, when Ivan Sutherland's appears with a famous work about the Sword of Damocles that we've been already speaking in virtual reality, and which was an early head-mounted display system. In the 90s, the aircraft company Boeing coined the term augmented reality to describe a digital display system that helped the aircraft assembly workers. And now we are in the 90s, and in the 90s appeared the first augmented reality applications. So the 90s saw the development of some of the earliest augmented reality applications, such as virtual fixtures system by Rosenberg, which allow users to interact with virtual reality objectives overlaid onto the real world. Early in 2000s, this is marked by the marker-based augmented reality. Marker-based augmented reality system emerged where digital content was overlaid onto physical markers or triggers. This allowed for more precise alignment of virtual objects with the real world. So later 2000 and early 2010, we start seeing these applications in mobile. And we are seeing also several advances in augmented reality technologies. I'm speaking about the proliferation of smartphones equipped with cameras, GPS, and motion sensors paved the way for mobile augmented reality applications. In 2009, Arc Toolkit, an open source of augmented reality platform, became widely used for developing mobile augmented reality apps. Significant advances since then have been happening in augmented reality technology. This includes improved computer vision algorithms, better tracking systems, and the development of augmented reality glasses and headsets like Microsoft HoloLens and Magic Leap. In 2016 comes the famous Pokemon Go. I believe everybody heard about this. This was Niantic's Pokemon Go became a global phenomenon with introduction of augmented reality to a massive audience. The game used GPS and the camera of smartphones to overlay Pokemon onto the real world, encouraging players to explore their surroundings. Between 2010 and 2020, we can speak about the expansion into various industries. Augmented reality found applications across diverse industries, becoming gaming, education, retail, healthcare, navigation, and architecture. Companies began leveraging augmented reality for marketing, training, design visualization, and more. In 2017, we speak about Apple ARKit and Google ARCore. So two big brands, I'm speaking about Apple and Google, introduced augmented reality development platforms, ARKit and ARCore, respectively, can make it easy for developers to create augmented reality apps for iOS and Android devices. Since 2020 until nowadays, we have been speaking about several topics considering integration with social media and commerce and exploring future advances, which we'll be seeing with my colleagues in the next days. Now going to the fields. Well, um, all the team of this project uh, define in previous meetings that we had online and presentially that we'll be speaking, each of us, or developing the literacy technology concepts in different common concepts. I'm speaking about cultural tourism, I'm speaking about education, I'm speaking about medicine, I'm speaking about economics, I'm speaking about cultural management, and those topics that I'll be presenting next. And so by starting by cultural tourism, uh, what has been done for augmented reality, or what we can see, is that this area has been benefiting a lot from augmented reality. And we can see it in the increasingly prevalent in this field, enhancing visitor experience by laying digital information to the physical environment. Some examples of these can be, we can see historical site reconstructions, interactive exhibits, guided tours, virtual guides, enhanced interpretation, augmented reality games, and challenges. Also, we can see in another area that is also considering cultural tourism, that are art installations, simulated time travel, wayfinding and navigation, personalized experience. Um, for, considering, let me just see, where did I put it? Okay, besides cultural tourism, we have also examples in education. And this project here is the public that we're working for is the university public. But since we are speaking about education, I would like to distinguish you basic education, because I know I have here in the audience people who will be future teachers of basic education, so probably they're interested on how can we implement this in augmented reality. And so, as I was saying, I decided to divide the topic of education in basic education and university education. So, basic education um, has been benefiting of augmented reality by making learning more interactive, immersive, and engaging. Several examples that I could find in the revision of literature I made when I was preparing this session. And they are, we can have interactive textbooks, virtual laboratory experiences, augmented reality flashcards, historical reenactments, language learning, geography and maps, mathematics visualization, art and design education, STEAM simulations, and collaborative learning experience, among others. So I went to YouTube to try to find some practical examples in order I was not only speaking here and putting my presentation more interesting. So considering here basic education, I will give you an example about language learning. How can we use because I know I have here also students that are from the language field, cultural and language field. Um, and the other topic I'll be introducing here is mathematics learning. How can we teach mathematics nowadays using augmented reality? So let's see the first movie, and then I'll pass to the second one. Can you see it?
Not yet.
Are you seeing the movie?
No.
No, no, Inês.
Inês, maybe you should share the screen of
Because I'm seeing, I don't know if you're seeing there. Okay.
Inês, penso que tens que partilhar o ecrã, o
O ecrã?
navegador e não o PowerPoint. Estás a partilhar só o PowerPoint.
Okay. So let me. Sorry for that. I'm seeing here, so I thought you were seeing too. Let me just see. How can I manage this? Oof. How can I share this? No, this is not what I was trying to. Let me see. How can I share this with you? I don't usually. Are you seeing now? Let me see. That I want to share with you. Go. So let me do one more try. What about now? Are you seeing now?
Não, oh,
No?
Inês,
Well, what I'll do, I'll
olha,
share with you and then you share it now.
Inês, estás-me a ouvir?
Sim?
Provavelmente terás de copiar o link, copias e colocas num browser, no Chrome.
Era o que eu
E
estava a
depois,
tentar fazer.
e depois partilha o Chrome e não o PowerPoint.
Ok. Deixa-me ver se eu consigo. Porque I'm sorry for that. I don't usually use links because I don't use PowerPoint presentation. So let me see if now goes. And I'll put the other one straight. I'm happy that the movies are short. Okay, let me see if it goes now.
partilhares o ecrã todo. Não, estás a partilhar o Word. Não é a mesma coisa. Vai ser igual.
Pois eu não estou a conseguir aqui entrar. Como é que vocês sugerem que eu faça? Eu criei
Não
outro
podes
browser.
share screen.
Se quiseres, coloca no chat esse
Uhum.
link. Eu coloco, ponho a rolar e partilho eu.
Então,
Tá bem, eu dou-te os dois. São os dois seguidos, tá bem? Okay, sorry for this.
Não estás a partilhar o ecrã, estás a partilhar aplicações, estás a perceber?
Eu pensava que a partir daí que via.
Não, tens que ser partilhar o ecrã todo.
Let me put on the chat then. Did you receive it?
Yeah.
Now I have to give you permission, isn't it? Let me just give you the permission to João. João.
We can watch it.
Thank you. Thank you, Roger. I think João is going to share with me. I'm having a problem with the links. Thank you. It has sound. Should have. Tem som, João. Não está a ouvir? Do meu lado tinha. So this is the example for learning languages. And what the virtual girl is doing here is giving the name in English or in Spanish. And then she will start building some sentences. So these are examples how we can use augmented reality in languages. And at the same time, she's showing when you get wrong the words. So she wanted to ask for water with lemon, and she said water with lion. So the sentence was totally crazy and appeared a lion because the augmented reality is doing what she's asking to do. And then after all, at the end, she had the lemonade ready. Now she's showing planets and the words in Spanish and in English. And also this can be done for animals or for another example that João kindly will going to share with us is about augmented reality in how to learn mathematics. Okay. It should have sound too. So what they're doing here is to count the vertices of this prisma. And for this, it was used the system of euphoria. Now, as you can see, the student will learn that this prisma has 6 vertices. So this is geometry more. How many vertex they have. And he's counting the number, the 6 vertices polygon has. So since he arrived to the right, the system gave him congratulations. And with this, we can also do activities for students with mathematics. Okay, this is not mine, okay? You can cut. Yeah, thank you very much. So, and we saw cultural tourism and basic education, but for the university education, it's a little bit different. Let me share this with you. and university education will use augmented reality by providing immersive, interactive, and experiential learning experiences. Some examples of these can be in science for university, bachelor's or master's, virtual laboratories. In medicine, and this is already quite a lot advances. I've been working with the virtual reality partners here in Porto in the School of Medicine, and we saw already several examples of augmented reality for medical training and stimulation, field trips and expeditions, architecture and design visualization. This is also being a field quite developed. Language and cultural immersion, augmented reality, books and textbooks, data visualization and analytics, art and media production, virtual lectures and presentations, collaborative research and projects.
Inês, you are
Yes.
not sharing the PowerPoint now.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for that. So, besides the university education, these topics that I just mentioned, we also have the architecture field. And the architectural field is also being using quite a lot this augmented reality area by enhancing the design process, visualization, and presentation of architectural projects. Examples of these can be seen in design visualization, client presentations, on-site construction visualization, interior design planning, interactive building information modeling, so the famous BIM, historical reconstruction and preservation, urban planning and developing, construction training and safety, marketing and promotion, artistic expression and installations. Once more, I'm going to copy these links in order you can see the examples that I brought here for language and cultural immersion that we have here at the universal level, and for our dear students that are here from this topic. And also in the architecture field, how can they present or make presentation to their client in this architecture level? So I'll be sharing both links and kindly ask you, João, to share them again in order we don't stop. Oh, sorry. Where are... Sorry. Let me see, where do I have this? Okay, chat is here now. So one, and then the second one. This first one that João is going to share is for the language and cultural immersion. And the second one is for architectural level. So when you want, João Carvalho, you can share. So this is learning Chinese. How can we learn Chinese? So Chinese immersion and augmented reality. Said that we should be listening the sounds, but at least this one has what she's saying below part. So as you can see, the children are putting their laptops or in front of the symbols, and they can listen to the teacher saying the correct pronouns and understanding how to say it in Chinese. Okay. You can put the other, please, João. So this is for architects. And this is very interesting because, as you can see, the build is already built. Sorry for the word again, but you can see exactly where are inside, what is inside. And for example, when we have a problem in our houses that suddenly appears water and we don't know where is broken, the connection is broken. And with this system, we can see the part and it is identify exactly the place where we have to break the wall and fix it without having to open all the wall and have other costs. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to continue sharing my screen.
To share all the screen and not just PowerPoint. You are still sharing only PowerPoint. So it's your problem. When you click share, that should be an option to share all the screen.
All the screen. And the problem is that I have to manage your faces together in my PowerPoint. Okay, so the other topics where augmented reality can be used to are cultural management, and here is visible by enhancing visitor experience, preserving cultural heritage, and promoting cultural institutions. And the examples here can be exhibition enhancements, virtual tours, digital preservation, interactive learning experience, accessibility, augmented reality for art installations, cultural mapping and interpretation, community engagement, promotional campaigns, and revenue generation. Another interesting topic is how can we use augmented reality in enterprise managing? And this is quite important because it can improve productivity, efficiency, and collaboration across different industries. I brought here some case studies. One for augmented reality in museums, which is a little bit similar to what we've seen in the previous movie, so I won't take you too much time on this. And the collaboration in different industries. So probably I'll show you this too. Now I'll kindly ask you to share João again with us. Here. And for productivity, another case study. So you can start sharing if you like. So here you have an example how you can share automotive solutions, airspace, aviation, and military solutions together with high-tech electronic solutions. So this is an example how can different connective economical areas can work together with augmented reality. So you can take out this one and put the other, please.
Should I put the other link?
Podes pôr o outro, que este já está visto. Obrigada. Okay, this is a video that takes too much time, and I'm almost finishing my part of presentation to pass it to Geronimo. But I would like to share because this is very interesting, and you have here these three gentlemen showing how enterprise augmented reality powers frontline productivity in the next normal. So this is a video about 1 hour. Of course, we're not going to see it here, but I'll leave you the link on the chat now. And you, with more time, can see it how the enterprises in the future can achieve new competitive achievements. Okay. So João, I'll kindly ask you to interrupt. I just wanted to show you this is a very good movie for those who are from enterprise management field, and I know I have my friends from Tajik, but also several colleagues from SCAP too. Okay, we're almost ending. I just wanted to finish my morning presentation talking to you about what are the challenges and future trends that I'm seeing, that I've studied here in the revision of literature I made to prepare this class today. And I try to answer two important questions. So from one side, how many years will take to take augmented reality to become a normal practice in our lives? And the conclusion I got is that we cannot predict exactly the time when it will happen, because this will depend on the technological advancements, on market demand, on regulatory considerations, and social acceptance. What I mean is that we will continue with the technological advances. So augmented reality is rapidly, as we can see, evolving with ongoing improvements in hardware, software, and user experience. And also the augmented reality devices are becoming more powerful, affordable, and user-friendly. Adoption rates are likely to accelerate too. On the other side, it depends also about the increased market demand. And what I could see from the literature review is that there is a growing interest and demand for augmented reality applications across various industries, including gaming, entertainment, retail, healthcare, education, and manufacturing. As more business and consumers recognize the potential benefits of augmented realities, Adoption rates are expected to increase, driving the normalization of augmented reality in our lives. Also, the integration into existing technologies. So augmented reality, as you saw in previous slide that I presented, existing technologies such as smartphones, tablets, and smart glasses. And what we will see on Thursday with Paul Meirelles is that the future will be to have glasses like this one, where we'll do all the applications that we are starting to doing now. So augmented reality features become standard components of these devices. Use augmented reality is likely to become. Am I sharing or not?
No, you are not sharing, and you are
Oh, I'm sorry.
the glasses, and we cannot see what the glasses that we are.
Okay, sorry. I was very happy. Probably I didn't click here on sharing. Sorry for that. So besides this, also it depends, the evolutions on augmented reality depends on regulatory and privacy considerations. This means regulatory frameworks and privacy concerns may influence the adoption of augmented reality technology. As regulation improves and evolves and privacy issues are addressed, business and consumers may feel more confident in adapting these kinds of application, accepting better, and augmented reality will be normalized in our societies. Also, it's important to have in mind that cultural and social acceptance is very important. And this is considering the cultural norms and societal behaviors, and the domain that people might have here. Well, the other question that I have here, considering the reflection about the augmented reality challenge and future trends, is that will the application of augmented reality make sense to other jobs besides architecture or educational level, whatever, or heritage management? Will, for example, make sense for a lawyer? Will it differ in terms of faster application to one field to another? Which of those fields will have a privileged development between the others? Which will be prioritized? Again, I don't have final solutions to you, just some reflections. So the simultaneous application of augmented reality across these different fields that I just mentioned here will occur to some extent, but the pace and priority of adoption may depend on factors such technology readiness, market demand, regulatory considerations of societal acceptance. Sorry. And of course, it will depend in different fields. So I believe that augmented reality applications across various industries and sectors will be different. Education, healthcare, architecture, and cultural heritage are among the fields that it makes sense the development of augmented reality. So this will be transformative and will have tangible benefits for the stakeholders. However, the pace of adoption will ultimately depend on factors such as technology advances, market demand, and organizational readiness within each space. So, thank you very much for your attention. I think we can do now a 10 minutes break. And after this break, I will invite Geronimo to share the difference between the augmented reality, virtual reality, and immersive reality. So in 10 minutes, we'll be back, okay? Thank you very much for your time.
Then I shall begin. The title of this presentation is called AR/extended reality as Trend on the Rise. So in this presentation, we will cover a few topics, namely the distinction between augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual reality, and extended reality. These terms are often used interchangeably. People use these terms without really understanding what each of them refers to, because they are related to each other. However, in order to improve digital literacy, it is very important to clarify at a conceptual level the differences between these concepts. So in this slide, we can see an example of the distinction between these concepts. So in one extreme we have the real world, okay, and on the other extreme we have the virtual world, and in between we have the catch-all term extended reality, or realidade mista in Portuguese. So the augmented reality is closer to the real world than mixed reality and virtual reality. Then mixed reality is between augmented reality and virtual reality. And virtual reality is the closest one to the virtual world and the furthest away from the real world. So as you can see in this picture, we have the same object in virtual reality, in mixed reality, and in augmented reality, and we get progressively away from the real world and further into the virtual world. So extended reality is a bit of a catch-all term that includes the free concepts. So the augmented reality, AR, mixed reality, XR, MR, and virtual reality. So when we speak of extended reality, we include all of these free concepts. Okay. So let's see the difference. Augmented reality is distinct from virtual reality. Okay, in AR we can see the real world. That's the main difference. Okay, whereas in virtual reality we cannot see the real world. Effectively, augmented reality is still very close to the real world, except we use technology to enhance what we see. For example, by adding graphic overlays, 3D models, and videos. So yeah, we have a few examples on this slide. How is this done? So AR superimposes computer-generated images onto what the user sees. Okay, this is very useful in contexts where we need additional information that is not immediately obvious to the user. Say, for example, when conducting a repair of a vehicle, may be able to make a perfect between technical glitch. An experienced mechanic may be able to perfectly distinguish between the different components of a car, but someone who is less experienced may not be able to do so. So we can use augmented reality to label the different parts of the car, so it becomes obvious to the user. Another advantage is that it is very helpful for solving real-world problems by giving expert advice. So, for example, carrying out repairs of motor engines, elevators, and other things. It has, as we've seen before in the previous presentation, very interesting applications on the field of education. Thus, it can transform the way students learn by providing a more immersive and interactive experience. Advanced. So, a good example of augmented reality would be the aforementioned Pokemon Go video game. So in Pokemon Go, we see the real world, but there is another layer of computer-generated content that is superimposed on the real world. For example, the computer-generated Pokemon. So this is not virtual reality. If it was a virtual reality game, we will not see the real world at all. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, so this is a good example of augmented reality. So this is an app from, I believe, IKEA that allows us to use our smartphone to take pictures of our living room. And say if a customer wants to see how a certain piece of furniture will look on the living room, this application allows the user to overlay a computer-generated version of the furniture item that we want to see on their living room. So it's very useful if you want to see how a piece of furniture would look on your living room. Okay, so this is not virtual reality because we have a mixture of the virtual and the real world being combined at the same time. Okay, so it's actually a useful technology that has very high adoption rates among furniture manufacturers like IKEA, because one of the main challenges for customers is how a certain piece of furniture would look on one's living room. Another good example is an app by Ray-Ban that allows users to see how a piece of sunglasses would look on them using AR. So people can see their faces plus a digitally generated image of the sunglasses. So virtual reality is the other extreme, okay? It provides total immersion. You do not see the real world in virtual reality. That's the main difference. It is a completely simulated environment, but it's totally virtual. So effectively, it's almost like being transported to a different place or a different time. It gives the user greater control of what they see and what they listen and what they experience. Okay, virtual reality is of these three categories: augmented reality, mixed reality, and virtual reality itself. It's probably the most emerging of the three. It still has some significant challenges in terms of costs, and because it relies on virtual reality headsets, it can still cause nausea on some people, and it still needs further content to be developed. Okay, we have a few examples like PlayStation VR it's actually a very good example that's being implemented in the gaming industry. So in PlayStation VR, you can play a video game entirely in virtual reality. Sorry, can I interrupt the presentation to plug in my PC?
Eu não estou a ouvir. Será problema meu?
Não, eu também não estou.
Não, não, ele foi abaixo. Ele foi
Yes,
abaixo. He had a problem with the laptop. Now he's coming in.
well, so okay. So I apologize. I had my laptop crashed, so I had to restart. So I apologize for the inconvenience. But I shall resume my presentation.
No problem. You go
Uh,
ahead.
So where was I? Can everybody see the PowerPoint?
Not yet.
No?
No,
I don't believe I will.
you have to share. Yeah.
Could you please activate the option of
Okay,
sharing?
you went out. Okay.
Yes, I went out. Sorry for the inconvenience.
No problem.
Uh, okay. Um, uh, okay, can everybody see the PowerPoint?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, then we can carry on where I left off. So as I was saying, this is a field that is attracting significant investment by technology giants, especially in North America and in the Asia Pacific region. Notable examples of virtual reality are the metaverse, okay, that's being pioneered by Meta, that a company that was previously called Facebook, the PlayStation VR, and there are other examples that we can see in the industry. The metaverse is probably the biggest trend when discussing virtual reality at the moment. So this is an example of virtual reality. Let's contrast this with the previous example of augmented reality. So this is also a living room, but every single thing in this living room is virtual. Nothing is real. Okay, the user is seeing this living room through, for example, a VR headset, and everything is computer generated. Nothing is real, the real world. This is the difference. Okay. And in between virtual reality and augmented reality, we have mixed reality. So it's not virtual augmented reality, because although it is very similar, it uses a device that can scan the real world environment and allows some interaction. Okay, it involves additional technologies and capabilities when compared to to augmented reality. However, unlike virtual reality, where we have total immersion, there are still elements of the real world that are maintained within mixed reality. So examples of mixed reality. The best example is probably the Microsoft HoloLens and the newly released Apple Vision Pro. There are other examples, namely the Magic Leap 1, the Meta 2, the Varjo XR3. So the potential of mixed reality, because it's essentially a hybrid between augmented reality on one hand and virtual reality on the other, is that it allows to capture the advantages of each approach. So it allows for deeper integration between the digital and the real world. And it has also a wide variety of applications, from industry to education and entertainment. So it is an important technology to keep in mind, because it will shape the future of digital and physical interactions and offer new and unique experiences. You can see a few examples here of augmented reality, of mixed reality. So another example, okay, this is also another living room, but in mixed reality. So what is the difference between the previous two examples? So we have a combination of the real world and the virtual world, So it's different from virtual reality where everything is virtual and nothing is real. And it's not augmented reality. Why? Because as you can see, the gentleman here is using additional technology. So we have a type of headset like in virtual reality, but it's different from augmented reality where we don't have this kind of technology being involved. Okay, so it's an interesting hybrid, and it can be quite useful in construction. For example, we have, you can see here an example of someone using this technology to consult a virtual expert to carry out a plumbing repair. So we have a mixture of the virtual and the real at the same time using a piece of technology like this one. Okay, so the key difference here is the additional technology, like an headset, a VR Google Glass, for example. Okay, so this type of technology that we can group together, we can refer to all these three concepts: the augmented reality, AR, mixed reality, MR, and virtual reality, VR, as extended reality. So there is a technological basis behind this. So we can speak of, for example, motion sensors. We need motion sensors like gyroscopes and accelerometers that are being installed in mobile devices to allow the interaction with the virtual object. We need development in camera technology to capture the real world environment. We need display devices like smartphones, AR glasses, virtual reality headsets. We need image processing algorithms that can effectively use artificial intelligence to identify surfaces, make recognitions between different objects, and accurately position the virtual elements onto the real world. And we need, for developers, we need powerful kits and technologies to develop these applications, like AR kits in the iOS system from Apple, and AR Core for Android system from Google/Alphabet. Okay, so the development of these technologies is key to the augmented reality. So we as covered before in the previous presentation, I'll go this very succinctly. As before looking at the future of this market, it's useful to take a look at the past. So it is not a completely new technology. It has been in development since the 1960s. So this is an image from the experiment of the Sword of Damocles. It was one of the first VR experiments. So it was still in its infancy in the 1960s and the 1970s. In the 1980s, the augmented reality became a term that was coined by Caldwell, an engineer at Boeing. So the term augmented reality appears first in the literature now in these decades. And a very good example of an early application of AR was the use of heads-up display, the hub, as they call them, for example, in the aviation industry. So as you can see in this picture, and to help guide pilots. At the same time, we see the first attempts to use virtual reality in gaming. So the Virtual Boy was introduced by Nintendo in 1995, and it offered stereoscopic virtual reality for the first time. Okay, so it was really the first time a major corporation really tried to use virtual reality. However, it was a flop. It had very limited sales, and it was discontinued shortly because it had a number of technical issues. Everything was in a palette of red and black. It gave it gave users nausea and even seizures. It was very expensive to acquire for consumers, and it was also very expensive to develop video games for the Virtual Boy. However, it is an interesting piece of technology, but that was ahead of its time. In the 2000s and to 2010s, most of the students will probably remember this. So we have a few developments in extended reality. A good example is the iToy for PlayStation 2 that was released in 2003 that allowed players to interact with video games using body movements. It was implemented using this camera that was connected to the PlayStation 2. In the next generation, the following generation of consoles, we have the Microsoft Kinect and that was also an interesting application of extended reality. So extended reality video games came in a bit more into the mainstream. And now in the 2010s, the previous decade, we saw a rapid evolution of extended reality. And a good example of that most people are familiar with is when in 2015, I believe, Snapchat introduced AR filters. So it allows people to apply filters to their face. And this came about in the 2010s. It is now a feature that's available in most instant messaging applications like Facebook Messenger, Telegram, I believe, even Zoom now allows us to add AR filters. So at the moment, this is an overview of the AR and VR markets. So it is currently valued at worldwide in 2024 at around 80 billion US dollars worldwide, and it's projected to grow to over 1,000 billion US dollars by 2032. So this is a cumulative average growth rate of 40%, which is effectively exponential growth. So we have the upward curve as you can see here. It's going exponentially. In terms of regions, the most dynamic regions are probably North America and the Asia Pacific. North America is the region of the world that has currently the highest share of the revenue. So it has the biggest piece of the pie. However, Asia Pacific is lagging a little bit behind, but interestingly, it has the fastest rate of growth. So it in the future may even surpass the North American market, especially driven by China. Europe has a solid share of this market at 29%, but the rate of growth is slower. So in terms of components, the software is the one that is contributing the most to these trends. More than 61% of the revenue in 2022 was generated by the software segment as opposed to the hardware. And in terms of industry, the healthcare segment is one of the segments that is predicted to have the most remarkable growth. So here you can see this is from our research. The European ecosystem of AR/VR. So we have the main policymakers. We have the European Commission. Then we have local and national governments. We have entities that provide funding, like ventures, like numerous. We have also the Horizon 2020 and 2030. So we have public EU funding for the development of AR and VR within the context of the European Union. We have firms that specialize in services and training and consulting, like Accenture. We have companies that specialize in the rental. In terms of demand, what companies are demanding these services, we have for example, governments like the Estonian government, which is one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world. And within the context of the European Union, we have IKEA, as we've mentioned before, and other companies like this one. We have automotive companies within Europe as well. Volvo is a good example that. And what companies are supplying? Okay, we have Pix, YZ, Vertalis, Vive, Zeiss. These are European companies that are supplying the services. But in order for these companies to supply the services, they need to carry out research. And we have a few universities that are carrying out interesting developments in VR, namely the University of Delft, University of Barcelona, the Polytechnic Federal Lausanne, the University of Amsterdam. We have in the Polytechnic of Porto also a research project concerning VR being developed. And then we have the ecosystem of support. So these are the institutions that support the development of AR by sharing the best practices, for example. And then we have the section in Europe of the ecosystem that's related to raising awareness, creating hype, like organizing events, award shows, etc. And we also have the media section, VR Hungary, VR Hunters. These are blogs that specialize in VR that are based in Europe. Okay, so this is the ecosystem within Europe. North America. There's also a North American ecosystem, and then there's also a Chinese ecosystem that's very well developed. But given that this is the most relevant for Europeans, I decided to focus on this one. So in terms of the diffusion of the technology, so we have this model of diffusion of innovation. So at the moment, virtual reality, according to research by Gartner, is still within the early market phase. So there is a segment of tech-savvy consumers that are and sophisticated corporations that are already embracing this technology. but it still hasn't percolated to the mainstream. Okay, it's still not something that the majority of the population uses on a regular basis. So it's still not niche as it was in the past, but it still needs to break the chasm to really become truly mainstream, and it's still a few years away. Augmented reality, on the other hand, is at the stage where there is an early majority that has already adopted this technology. So most Gen Z and millennials have actually used some kind of augmented reality, like for example the AR filters. Even the most basic applications are starting to become mainstream. So, however, there's still a huge section of the population that is yet to adopt these technologies. Okay, the so-called late majority and the laggards. So virtual reality is lagging a little bit behind. So this is the Gartner hype cycle. So effectively, it analyzes the level of expectations that a new technology generates. So effectively, where are we now with extended reality? We're past the so-called peak of inflated expectations. So this is the point where the technology really creates a huge amount of hype that is ultimately unsustainable. So we are already past that point, right? Okay. Because the limitations are becoming clear. Okay, so we are at the stage of the fraught of disillusionment, but then but after the fraught of disillusionment comes the slope of enlightenment. Okay, and then it will become a mature platform. Okay, so like PC consoles and mobiles are already mature technologies. Okay, so it is at this stage virtual reality is becoming more mature, and brain computer interface is the one that is still lagging behind a little bit. Okay, so the peak of the hype has passed, and now we are seeing that these technologies are actually becoming more mature, and more practical applications are being developed. So no more insane headlines. Like for example, a technology that is currently at the peak of inflated expectations, generative AI. So everyone's talking about that technology, but creating all kinds of hype around it that it will ultimately be unsustainable, and people will realize that it's not all what it is all cracked up to be. So I will pass a few slides. Sorry. So we have also applications of virtual reality in education, entertainment, medicine, advertising. Sorry. And design. So I believe that the previous presentation did a very good job of covering a few applications of these technologies, and I'll show more concrete examples later on. Why are these technologies still not totally mainstream? Why are they not part of our everyday lives? Because there are still challenges and limitations. So the first one from the literature review, and this was also covered in the previous presentation, relates to the hardware. So we have new hardware that is becoming cheaper and more immersive, like the new Apple eyeglasses, an interesting development. There are issues with developing software for AR and virtual reality that are related to user experience. I don't know if anyone has tried using this technology, but after a while, it gets somewhat tiring. It will be very difficult to imagine someone using this 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, to do their jobs. There's still not a lot of content and applications. So, for example, we have PlayStation VR, but the most interesting PlayStation titles are not VR games. Okay, in the previous generation, we had Microsoft Kinect. There were games for the Microsoft Kinect, but they were not the AAA games or the games that most people will want to play. So there are issues with interaction and developing interfaces that the cost is also an issue. And there's also an issue of accessibility that's very important to highlight. People who are visually impaired have further difficulties in using this technology. And so accessibility is also an issue. In terms of security and privacy, one of the main limitations is that the regulation of these technologies is not very well developed yet. We in Europe and in North America, there's still not as solid of a legal framework around AR and VR that we have, for example, around social media. So there's still challenges relating to regulation that cause uncertainty, and there are also safety concerns. This is an interesting example. So this is after the release of the Apple Vision Pro, and this is a very good illustration of the issues that this technology has. Right. So yeah, like for example, driving while using the Apple Vision Pro. So it's a good example. Okay, so there are also future use cases. This is a technology that is gaining a lot of attention in the area of sales. AR and sales is something that is generating a lot of hype currently, and it is an area where there's still a lot of huge room for improvement. So this is a demonstration of a technology startup that is trying to use AR in, for example, the sales of real estate. So a person can see this additional information while looking for an apartment. Okay. So this is augmented reality mixed. So this is an example of extended reality. Yeah, this is see like it's a better experience for the user. So like the user can look at a certain building and see how much it costs to rent an apartment there. So the combination between AR and e-commerce, for example, is an interesting one that still has huge room for improvement. Another area of future development is direct to brain and or brain integrated AR. So like another example, the most famous one is the Neuralink. Like you have this quote from Elon Musk saying, "Oh no, the metaverse sucks. You can put a TV on your nose, but I'm not sure it makes in the metaverse." So he's promising like better AR experience using Neuralink, which is a piece of technology that is implanted directly in the brain, and it generates the images without using any kind of headset and technology. So it is a technology that's it's still in the later in the earlier stage of development than the cases we've seen before, but it may be the solution to the issues related to the hardware that we've seen before. Okay, the headsets look kind of goofy still, and this would be a more seamless way of giving users VR and AR experiences by plugging it directly to the brain. But it's still, but on the other hand, it has very complex ethical implications. So a case study that was carried out by our university and Professor António Abreu, Eusébio da Costa, and Agostinho Sousa Pinto wrote a paper related to the use of augmented reality in tourism in the city of Porto. So in Porto we have good examples of augmented and virtual reality. So like for example in South Africa you have a virtual reality app that you can use. We have viral virtual reality, which is a place in the downtown where people can play games in VR. We have AR exhibitions at, for example, the Porto Wine Cellars, and we have the tourism shops that use AR currently. So we have a good examples of in the city we have a good coverage of Wi-Fi, strong penetration of smartphones, and basically we carried out a survey of tourists in the city of Porto, and using the UTAT-free model, which is an expanded version of the UTAT model, and we carried out a quantitative study, and we basically concluded that the things that drive the adoption of these technologies in tourism are the habit. So people become used to it, so they adopt these technologies. The hedonic motivation, because people want to use this technology because they think that they make their experience as tourists more fun and interesting. And the facilitating conditions, so for example, having good Wi-Fi, knowing how to use smartphones and AR apps are very important in determining AR adoption. So age plays a role. Okay, so younger generations are more likely to use and adopt these technologies, and gender also has some influence with male respondents being more prone to adopt these technologies, which gives some implications for the inclusive and accessible use of the technology. How we make this technology more inclusive for people of older generations, underrepresented minorities, women, and people with disabilities. So this is I'll leave a few references for further study and pass the the floor to the students who may or may not have any questions, and I can answer.
Jeroen,
And
thank you very much. I was going to open the floor to questions before we leave. And thank you for your presentation.